So in fighting, there are a couple of different ranges. There's obviously really long range where I can't reach my opponent and my opponent can't reach me. We're both safe in that case. Long range fighting is going to be with my longer kicks. They're further away from me. My legs are my longer weapons. Short range fighting would be where I'm using my hands and they're too close to kick. But then there's close quarters combat, which is when they've actually grabbed a hold of you and they're trying to wrestle with you, or maybe you're trying to wrestle with them because there's a lot of takedowns in the Hapkido. So the strikes and the kicks that are added in this particular belt are used to help with that close quarters combat, that close range fighting. The first kick we're going to go over is very similar to one you've already learned, the snap kick, but this one is a 45-degree angle snap kick. It's not going to travel very far, but it's going to go at a weird angle that we can use in different situations. I'll show you that later. So to show you this from the front, we're going to do this from a walking stance. I chamber my knee, very similar to a snap kick, but then I turn my knee to the outside. Once the knee's to the outside, I throw the snap kick and it comes back. You notice how it went at this angle. Let's try 5 of them. Ready? 1. Hit. 2. 3. 4. Pointing my toe. 5. Ki. Want to hit right with the top of the foot. Let's switch stance. Ready? Switch. Try 5 of them with the other leg. 45-degree angle snap kick. Ready? 1. Get that leg at the angle, out and back. Come back to your stance. 2. 3. 4. 5. Ki. Back to Chumbi. Let's look at how we would apply the 45-degree angle snap kick. In this case, we're going to be doing this from an open stance. An open stance means he's in a left guard stance, I'm in a right guard stance. If I switch my feet, if you look at our feet, it makes a closed box. I open that box, that's an open stance. So if I wanted to hit him on his stomach right here, I could use my back leg. The problem is it travels from a really far way back. He might see it and block it. If I don't really want to knock him out, but maybe I want to set up a combo, I can use that 45-degree snap kick by lifting the knee, do the snap kick. That might get him to drop his hand so I can now nail him in the face if I wanted to.
Especially if he targeted my groin with that kick.
Yeah, that could be a very good groin kick if you're wearing shoes. Besides the top of the foot, you could also pull the toes back and use the toe of the foot. Ouch. The other way that you're going to use this is very commonly to help you with grappling. There's one of the joint locks you're going to learn at the yellow belt rank. It's called an arm bar, where I'm trying to get this arm really straight. But if he's fighting me, he's thinking about his arm, and I need to change his mind. So I might give him one of those real quick. Now he's thinking about his stomach. Now I can push that arm bar on him. Our next kick is called the lower outer kick, and it's kind of a combination between an axe kick and a hook kick. Start from your guard stance. I'm going to use a good walking stance for this. My hands are up. When you start, it's going to be this lifting of the knee. You can either lift the knee straight up, or you're going to learn this as a grappling technique. If your opponent's a little in the way, you can lift it to the side as though it's a hook kick. From the lifted knee position, you're going to put the heel out and pull it back. Let's try a couple of these. Ready? 1, lift the knee, push the foot out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit. Make sure you key eye on that last one. Come back to your stance and then switch. I'm going to add a motion to this one where I'm reaching out to grab, and I'll show you what this is for later, but it's like you're going to grab a hold of their shirt and you're going to pull them in close to you. You grab, you pull, you lift the knee, then you push the foot back. Let's try that a couple of times. Ready? 1. Hit. 2. Hit. 3. Hit. 4. Hit. 5. Hit. Back to Chumbi. Let's take a look at what the lower outer kick does. So there's 2 ways we can use it. First way I'm going to show you is how you would use it as a strike. So if we're in here fighting, I'm going to show you this again from a open stance. I might want to distract him by pushing into his hand. When I do that, I can lift my knee and I can put that heel right on the outside of that calf muscle, right below the knee. That's a very painful spot to hit somebody. Otherwise, if he comes in and he grabs a hold of me, I can grab a hold of him too. We'll show you how you lock the elbow and how you can lock the head. What I need to do is I need to get his weight pushed back this way, and then I bring that foot through and I can pick up his leg and I can throw him down to the floor. That's the lower outer kick. The next kick is called a lower circular kick. It's called that because of the circle we're going to draw with our foot as we execute the kick. So go ahead and start in a good walking stance. You want to make sure your front knee's bent, your back leg is mostly straight, and your hands are up. First thing I need to do to execute this kick is adjust the position of my front foot. I need it to go to a 45-degree angle. There's a couple of ways I can do that. One way is just by rocking on the heel and turning the toes out. In the beginning, that's probably the easiest way to coordinate. But if you're on the balls of your toes, which is going to make you faster and stronger anyway, you'll just pivot on the ball of the toe while you turn with the kick. So there's two ways you can turn out of this kick. You lift the knee. When you throw the kick, it's automatically moving you in a circle. When you stop the kick, you can turn back around the same way and face the front. Or you can keep your momentum going. You complete the kick, and now all you have to do is move that left foot and you're facing back to the front again. For me, that's the shortest direction, so that's the easiest way to get facing back to the front. Let's try 5 of these. Ready? 1. Hit. 2. Lift the knee. 3. 4. Number 5, ki. Switch. Now we're going to try that with the left leg. So remember, you're either going to be pivoting on the heel of the foot or you're going to be pivoting on the ball of the foot. First thing, we're going to lift up the knee. Ready? 1. Circle. 2. 3. 4. 5. Kia. Back to Chumbi. Let's take a look at what the lower circular kick does. I'm going to show you first how we would use to strike it. It's obviously a low target, and there's a couple of targets I could go for down there. The key being that the circular motion of the kick builds up a lot of momentum, and momentum is power. So one of the targets I have could be the ankle, especially if I've got shoes on. I can hit with the toe of the shoe right into that ankle bone, which can be very painful. Problem, ankle is a very small target, and the ball of the toe or the toe of the foot are very small weapons to strike with. So what I prefer to use is the shin of my foot, and I'll smash it into the outside of the calf of his lead leg. The bone that leads on the outside of that calf is very fragile. It can break pretty easy. On the other hand, if he gets close enough to be able to grab me or push me or pull me, I can use that momentum and spin on the ball of my foot and then pick his foot up to be able to throw it. I'm grabbing that with the ankle of my foot, and I'm grabbing a hold of his leg. I can even grab a hold of his chest, and I can push, and that pushes him off balance and makes his foot very light. Our next kick is called a lower heel kick because we're striking with the hardest part of the foot to a low section part of our opponent's body. For this one, you're going to notice the knee starts in a very similar position to a snap kick. But then the foot is going to reach out, and the action comes from the heel driving back. That's going to be my target. Let's try a couple of these. Guard up. Good walking stance. Make sure you got some space between your feet. Ready? 1. Knee up. Reach out. Ki. 2. 3. 4. 5. Kia. Switch. On the other side, I want to show you how we do this grab. Very similar to the one we used on the lower outer kick. I'm going to reach out, I'm going to grab, and I'm going to pull my opponent in. That's going to make it easier for the takedown. Then I'm going to lift the knee, and then I'm going to strike the back of their knee. I'll show you how that works. Let's try 5 of them. Ready? 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. chew me. Let's take a look at how we use that lower heel kick. Again, I'm going to show you a couple of ways. First way we're going to use this is as a striking technique. Then I'll show you how we can use it to grapple and take our opponent down to the floor. So again, these are close quarters combat. Maybe he comes in and he grabs a hold of me. And I'm fighting to get to the inside, but I can't do it. And I need to change his mind. So what I'll do is I'll pick up this heel and I'll strike to the back of his thigh. I might strike to the back of his calf. That's a very hard bone striking into meaty muscle. That's going to cause bruising and at least change his mind so that now maybe I can get my hands to the inside. I can also use this as a grappling technique. If he's in close and he's pushing on me, I'll grab him for stability, but then I can reach up and I can hook the back of the knee. I pull the knee and then I can pull him and I can throw him right down to the floor. A lower cross kick is kind of like a sideways snap kick. It's called a cross kick because of how my foot interacts with my target. You'll notice it'll make a cross. So starting from our guard stance, hands up, front knees bent, back legs mostly straight. I'm going to start by lifting the knee, but then I turn the heel out as I push the foot out. Let's try 5 of them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch. The other way this can be done is instead of just a straightforward motion, it can be done as a stomping motion. It's going to start the same where we lift the knee, but then we drive the foot straight down, but it's also turned to the side. Remember, we want that cross for the cross kick. Let's try 5 of them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one, Ki. 5. And then back to chew me. Let's take a look at what the lower cross kick does. So there's a couple of applications depending on if you just shot the foot forward or if you did that stomping motion. You probably already saw what those applications were. The first one is just sending it straight out into the shin, which especially if I have shoes on and I'm hitting with the edge of that shoe, that can be very painful. I'm not going to knock him out. I'm not going to break the shin, but it's helpful if I'm trying to get a joint lock and he's fighting, I can change his mind and make him think about his leg. If I go a little higher, just below the knee, I can actually hyperextend the knee at the same time. The other application was the stomping motion where I lift the foot up and then I'm striking down onto his foot. The best way is to combine the two, where I actually kick into his shin and then I slide down the shin to the top of the foot. That's the weakest part of the foot, the top of the arch. You can actually cause that to collapse. It's even effective if he grabs you from behind and choke hold or a bear hug. You reach back with your foot first, you find his shin, and then you just slide that straight down to his foot. Again, it's probably not going to knock him out, but you could break the foot, and that can help you get out so you can do some other techniques. Our next kick is called the knee strike. It's fairly simple. It explains itself. We're going to be bending the knee and striking with the bony part of the knee. So starting from our walking stance, hands up. For this one, I'm going to reach out with my hands. I'm going to make a cupping motion like I'm grabbing onto the back of somebody's neck or I'm grabbing onto their shoulders. From there, I'm going to lift the knee and then I'm going to come back to my guard stance. Let's try a couple of those. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That pulling action is going to add more power to that knee kick on your target. Let's try it a different way. Switch. So this case, maybe our opponent's body is slightly different, and I'm not coming up into the groin or into the stomach, but maybe I want to come around to the ribs. In that case, it's going to kind of chamber like a roundhouse kick. But I'm going to do the same motion with my hand. I'm going to grab a hold first. I'm going to pull in. That's going to give me power to my knee. Let's try 5 of them. Ready? 1, 2, lifting the knee from the side. 3, 4, 5, Ki. Back to Chumbi. Let's take a look at how to use the knee kick. So first of all, again, it's close range. I might have grabbed a hold of him. Maybe he's just punching me and I'm getting overwhelmed and I come into one of these. You see that happen all the time in boxing. It's a good way to stop yourself from getting hit. But now both of my hands are occupied. So in that case, I've got this where I can lift the knee straight up into the groin. I can pull his head down and put it into his stomach. If I grab the top of his head, I can even pull his face right down into my knee. On the other hand, maybe he's got a really good hold of me and we're a little too close and I can't quite get to those targets. I can pull the knee around to the side. I can either hit him in the thigh or I can bring it up into the ribs, especially on this side where his liver's at. That's a very painful shot to hit.